speaking of getting more famous, dude, is it crazy how, like, I mean, we've been around for 20 years. You know, people recognize us wherever we go. But this last movie coming out, like, I really noticed, like, the way
it's a whole different thing, dude.
Yeah, it's like, wow, we're like
because I think the 10-year gap.
Right.
Like,
I mean, dude, I
mean?
just notice it a lot. And here's the thing too that fucking kind of like it gets. Since this last movie came out, it's gotten to a point like where it's actually really difficult to get around in public because it's like, you know, it's kind of just overwhelming with like pictures and stuff.
You
like,
don't even know, dude.
And it's to a extent that like it's impossible to keep up with it, and it's impossible to not get like. But, you know, I find myself getting, like, grumpy, and I fucking hate it, man. I like these people that can't read a photo, and I'm like, put it on selfie, let's go, 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 go. You're like, and I'm, like, short with people.
I haven't gotten that short with people, but my lady says, I'm like, and the eating one bothers me. I'm not even joking. I think manners have gone away from people. Like, I'm being serious, 100%.
Yeah.
Because I would never go up to somebody with, like, their hands on a burger and like their mouth on it and go, hey, like, don't even say hello, nice to meet you anymore. That's been long gone.
Or they sit in the booth next to you. You ever had that?
Oh, and they just stare.
But
no, but hold on.
Yeah.
But they go like, hey, can I get a photo? And you're like, oh, well, hold on. And then you're like, well, and you feel bad. And I'm like, can I finish eating? And then, oh, okay, whatever. But then it even comes to a point where we're like, well, I'm going. All right, well, that's your time then, bro. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
But here's one that really got me the other day. And I thought I was going to be like you in the porta potty or in the urinal. This dude, we were out in Texas, and he messaged me like, hey, man, I'm going to be at the event tomorrow. Can you kick me in the nuts? And I'm like, hey, I'll see you there. And he comes, and I can tell he wants to be famous. I'm not gonna say his look because it'll give it away, but he had a certain look and all that. And he's like, all right, you're gonna kick me? I'm like, no, this isn't the place. What? I've seen all these other like, he was like stressing and in my face about it. And I'm like, bro,
I retired from nut kicking.
Yeah, so did I. Because then I realized what it does for these people. And
it's not what it does for them. It's just it's not the energy I want to put out.
Yes. And I'm not saying what it does for people, too. But I think what it does in their mind for them. But the dude, was, shaking. I thought he was going to throw a swing at me. And I was like, oh, dude, if this dude throws a swing at me, he's on the ground. Like, he's going to go down. And then he just, walks away. He's like, well, I'm coming to L.A. And I'm like, all right, come on. Come to L.A., whatever. And I'm like, dude, people, it's weird. It's weird out there.
Well, the one guy gave you titty twisters that one time.
Yeah, that's a gnarly thing. I don't like that. But yeah, it's just crazy because I've always been really, really careful and it's just always been really important to me to be good to fans.
Of course.
I'll never turn down a photo.
No.
And even when I get the most grumpy and short, I'm always just put it on selfie and hurry up, I'm still not turning down the photo.
Yeah, I know what
but
you
I'm
mean.
just put it on selfie, put it,
Yeah.
and I just I really need to dig deep and not get grumpy because I just don't,
No,
I saw a comment on an Instagram thing that says someone's like, dude, I met Steve-O, don't believe everything you read on Reddit about somebody. He was super cool to me. And I'm like, no.
Wait,
they're talking shit about they're talking shit
what
about
does
me on Reddit. No.
Why, you ever look on Reddit?
I have no idea what they're. Then my next thing I think is dude, I got to do a Reddit AMA to be like, hey, dude, Reddit community, I want to,
You should do a Reddit AMA though, dude.
I know I should. For my book, I should do it.
You should totally do it.
And,
what's a Reddit AMA?
It's called Ask Me Anything, and you go on there and you prove that it's you by posting a photo saying I'm gonna do an AMA for Reddit,
okay.
And then they know it's gonna be you, and then they're just typing in questions, and you just type answers to the questions you want to, and the ones that are most popular get like upvoted. So like it's a system by which they feed the most compelling stuff to the top.
Gotcha. All right.
And all of Reddit works that way. So if your AMA is, you know, popular, it gets upvoted. So you rank on Reddit based on how much the community is enjoying the content.
Gotcha. All right.
And I care so much about what people think about me. That was why I'm like, I gotta fucking make things right with Reddit. Like, I can't have people out there saying I'm an asshole. But it just, what it kind of leads to ultimately is that shit, when people get like famous to a point, it's just too overwhelming. So yeah, like fucking famous.
Well, what do you do?
Famous people get branded, labeled as like arrogant shitheads, and like I kind of, you know, like it's.
What is it? Bring me all of them, or bring me none of them.
You know what?
You
know what though? When I was a kid, I used to think, oh, that was shitty that happened to the person, because I would hear, and this is even before cell phones and stuff,
right?
That you would hear stories about fans going up to someone they loved,
right,
and bothering them while they're eating, and the person yelling at them, and it gets bummed, and I'm like, you don't, like, if I came to you, Scott, and I was like, Scott, give me a photo, but you just got off the phone and something happened,
or whatever, you broke up with your girlfriend, or something,
anything that now you're in a bad mood, that I'm coming into you with your mood, you
can't make everybody happy.
You can't. There's no way.
I'm just putting it out there that I want to
try.
I want to try to make everybody happy.
I do the same thing, and I do the same thing, but there's no way you could, or else you wouldn't be making yourself happy.
Right.
But dude, like I'm on the other side of it, and I see you guys, and I'm like, I look at the amount of photos that you guys take, and the trade-off is like, okay, be famous or have. I wouldn't want to be famous because of that. Like, you do a meet and greet for 50 people twice a night. There's 100 people. You go out to Walmart or whatever. There's 20 more photos. I've seen you be cool with 150 people, and then the one person that comes up to you, like, that tries to be funny, or it's like, bro, just, hurry up and take my photo. That one person will do a fucking Reddit, and you're an asshole. But I just watched you take 140 photos during a day.
100%.
I don't want to take 3 photos in a day at a family function, dude.
But that's what it always is. It's exactly that. And that's what I'm talking about, is the one knucklehead that comes up, and I don't mean to call him knucklehead or random person or whatever.
And I appreciate that, and I love that. But now let me tell you this. Like, after the pandemic, like, coming back onto tour, 2 things that were noticeably a lot more difficult than I ever remembered them was going through airports and flying on airplanes and doing meet and greets. It was just like somehow, like, the time away during the pandemic and then coming back to meet and greets and airplanes, those 2 things were really fucking difficult. And then now we're performing shows in big theaters, so I'm doing like 50 people meet and greet after the show, and I was dreading it. So I came up with this fucking thing, and this is all on me. I was like, you know what? Like, if I have a marker, then everybody wants me to sign something, and it makes it take twice as long. So I'm going to go into the meet and greet deliberately not having a marker. And if somebody asks me to sign something, I'll politely say, oh, yeah, you got a marker? And they don't have one. I'm like, oh, well, I don't have one, so I guess we're not going to sign anything. And that was my thing. And it made the meet and greets go by a lot quicker. But people would leave like, man, I wanted a signature. And it's bummed, right? And I was like, I don't care, because I just didn't have a marker. And then I saw a fucking comment on a YouTube video where someone says, dude, Steve-O, I got the fucking meet and greet, and he like rushed me by, and I couldn't even get a signature. And I responded to the comment. I wrote, it sounds like you didn't have a marker. I'm sorry you had a bad experience.
Dude.
And then I told Lux about it. And we were at dinner, we were on a date, and I'm like, I saw the comment while I was in the fucking bathroom. And she's like, babe, you gotta fucking be cooler. This is people that it's important they're meeting you. And I'm like, you know what? Like, fucking Lux is right. And I'm just saying, from my perspective, seeing that fucking comment and my shithead response to it, like, I fucking, it bothered me all night. I'm like, fuck, there's this person out there that's fucking, that I bummed out, and I decided then and there that I would rather be fucking miserable, inconvenienced by like a fucking meet and greet that takes way too long, and make sure every person leaves completely fucking happy, than be inconvenienced and miserable by a whole night of just fucking feeling shitty about a fucking shitty comment.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So now I'm deliberately leaning into it to make sure everybody leaves fucking like they fucking were special and fucking.
Yeah. Let's say you go ahead and do all that, and you're making everybody happy. Then you have the fucking last person in line or the middle person in line that's like, "Hey, can you make a video for my niece who's not here?"
Dude, I used to go off on people. I did. When people would ask me to make a video, I would like sometimes like kind of funny and sometimes like just straight. But I'd say, "Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm not dealing with enough people in person. Now you're introducing third party people just so that I can have to fucking deal with more fucking people."
Dude.
Now you're making me talk you're making me talk to people who aren't even here because I'm not fucking working hard enough for you. Is that right?
I mean, it's crazy.
And now you know what? I do every fucking video everybody asks for.
Dude,
no questions asked.
Same place.
I do it every day. Like, oh yeah, cool.
Let me say on behalf of you guys, because like the people listening are probably going to say, they're always going to find something to say like, oh well, they're complaining about being famous. It's like, look, I'm not famous. I travel with Steve. I've been with Weeman. I've been with all those guys. I've seen Steve in probably take 90,000 photos without a fucking, you know what I mean? And anybody in that situation, you would not be able to handle the amount of fucking photos that they take with a good attitude. So it's like before anybody's like, oh, you know, you're just so ungrateful. It's not like that at all. I've seen them bend over fucking backwards. I've seen you guys, somebody complains about, oh, I have this niece with it. You will fucking send them money or a flight without even anybody fucking
No,
like,
of course.
I'll want to do a video with Steve where I'm like, hey, let's go pay for somebody's rent. And you're like, I would never do that on camera. And you'll go ahead and do it off the camera. So it's like the amount of things that people see off the camera, it's like,
yeah.
It always irks me when people do good deeds fucking for a video.
I fucking hate that, dude.
I think that clip was awesome, but not as awesome as my new book, A Hard Kick in the Nuts, What I've Learned from a Lifetime of Terrible Decisions. My first book's 5-star rated on Amazon, and I have no doubt this one will be too. So get the autographed copy right now at stevo.com.
Yeah, dude.